Good morning and welcome to our continued study of jazz drummers. We continue today with Buddy Rich. He grew up a child of vaudeville. He was an entertainer from a young age, like 2. And when he was a little kid, they called him Baby Traps the Drum Wonder. Great way to stoke a kid's ego, don't you think? So throughout the rest of his playing career, he was always billed as the world's greatest drummer. And he really never gave you any other choice than to think that. He had a lot of playing opportunities. Actually, during World War II, get this, he served in the Marine Corps as a judo instructor. So not only was he a phenomenal drummer, he literally could kick your tail. When he started his first professional band in 1946, he got the money from his good friend, Frank Sinatra. Interesting side note, later on in life, they ended up living right next to each other. Their back fences, were connected. So, Nancy Sinatra, Frank's daughter, grew up in Buddy Rich's kitchen. Kind of an interesting thing. When Buddy Rich was on his deathbed, this is a great story. The nurse comes in and she's asking him a bunch of questions, and then she just offhandedly asked him what he was allergic to, and without missing a beat, he said country and western music. He was not a fan. One thing that Buddy Rich was really known for, he had kind of a short temper. If you did something musically that he didn't like, or personally that he didn't like, he was not shy about letting you know that. He had a reputation for firing people if they played poorly on a concert, and he sometimes would pull the bus over in the middle of going from one point to another point and kick you off the bus and throw your luggage at you and your instrument and then drive away and leave you in the middle of a wheat field in Kansas. Yeah. You couldn't get away with that today, but the quote you see here on the screen, you only get better by playing. Yeah, he didn't practice really ever. He claimed that he never practiced. He just played. And that's how he got better. I personally don't subscribe to that theory because I'm not Buddy Rich. The tune we're going to listen to today is one of my very favorites. It's called 3-Day Sucker. If you've ever seen one of those, it's this, like a lollipop, but the thing is like the size of your head, and it's supposed to take you 3 days to get through it. But it came out in 1975 on an album called Big Band Machine. And it's not easy. It's in the key of E, which is great for a guitar player or a bass player, but not so much for a trumpet player, because that puts us in the key of F sharp. It was one of the first pieces that I got to play when I joined Bob Curno's band back in 95, I think it was. It was really tough melody to learn how to do. Where did Buddy Rich receive his formal percussion training? He did not receive any. He taught himself how to play. He listened to people, he watched people, and he did what they did, only he did it better. Just ask him. So, during World War II, probably before he joined the Marines to be a judo instructor, he was the drummer for Tommy Dorsey. And it said that he was the highest paid sideman in the world. That means he was not the headliner, but he was paid because he had name recognition. He was probably paid close to what Tommy Dorsey was being paid for each gig. And that's not how you make money in the world. So he didn't last too long with Tommy Dorsey, but helped put his name firmly on the map. Okay. Now we're going to listen to this phenomenal piece of music. You're going to really enjoy this. And it is called 3-day sucker. And let me do this, and here we go. So if you weren't convinced before that Buddy Rich was the world's greatest drummer, now you are. All right, we'll start next week with Thad Jones and Mel Lewis. See you then.